Give me a break, I sure deserve it. But I'll make it to the top. I don't know the I don't know the next line of that song.
I
I
don't know.
just
I was here for the entertainment. I don't get too many people that sing to me,
I
so
just
I
know
was here
the
for it.
I wanna have it and then no time for pretending. Now let it get the best of me. Whoa, 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 give me a break. Give me a break. No hell, by the time I got a piece of the cake, give me a break. And if you don't know that song,
You gotta love those intros from back in the day.
I know, right? We
One
don't
of
get
my
them like that no more.
No, I mean one of my favorite ones to date is still Three's Company.
Oh yes,
And it was
yes.
that little funky electric guitar sound.
You better know it.
Come and knock at our door.
Come and knock on the door.
We've been waiting for you.
We've been waiting for you.
That's all I know. That's all I know.
All I know is hers and his and hers,
It's
three's
Three's
company
Company too.
too.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-mm-mm. The nostalgia, darling, as Mariah Carey would say. For the nostalgia. So speaking of something that's going to be very nostalgic for all the little kids 20 years from now, The Little Mermaid, starring Halle Bailey.
Not Halle Berry. Halle
Not Halle
Bailey.
Berry, although that would have been interesting too.
Yeah, but some fans are still mad about X-Men
Oh,
that they gave it to Halle Berry instead of Angela Bassett.
it's like children, let it go. I mean, I was mad for Miss
Angela
Hopkins
Bassett was
too.
busy. She was
She
doing
was busy.
Interstellar or some space movie.
That was
It didn't turn out to be a good choice for her,
it
but it is what it is.
is what it is, right?
Halle Berry is somewhere like, that thanks for doing me a solid.
Right? I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Because she
Angela's
made
really
X-Men
good.
movies on that
Yeah.
franchise for the next 10 years.
Now, is that a role that Kiki Palmer wants to play? I can see Kiki wanting to be Storm now. You know,
I could see it.
I can see it.
I don't know if she's expressed interest.
Well, we're
And
putting it out there.
I don't know how the fans would feel about it.
Oh, the fandom.
Well,
You can please
yeah, I
everybody.
mean, you have different kind because you have your Marvel fans, which are very, very by the comic book, except for
Mhm.
Mystique. They've always been very, very by the comic book until they decided to make Mystique naked for the movie. They didn't object to that.
They
I
didn't
wonder
object to
why. I
that,
wonder
right?
why.
Right. I think you have the purists, which well, purists, I mean the racial purists. Uh,
Hmm.
you have those,
Yeah, because everybody knows that mermaids are white.
yes, everybody knows that. I mean, some
Everybody.
people are standing down on that, like standing 10 toes down in the comment section. There's no black mermaids anywhere in fictional history. It's somebody say I read somebody's comment somewhere. Stay out of the comments, people. Just stay out of the comments.
So does that mean that mermaids are Scotch Irish,
I don't know.
Lithuanian?
Greek, because
Right.
they were back then too, right? The sirens.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, come on, people. I don't, whatever. But did you get a chance to see The Little Mermaid yet? Have you
Not yet.
seen it?
I'm gonna see it this week. I kind of wanted to. I knew it was gonna be a big. It was gonna be a big weekend, holiday weekend, Memorial Day weekend, and
Hmm.
then Little Mermaid. So I was like, let me let the herd thin down a bit before I go in there. And
Well,
he had
yeah,
a very impressive weekend in the box office of over 180 million.
yeah. It was very impressive. The the She broke a new record for a black female lead of a film that was previously held by Lupita Nyong'o from Us.
Mm.
So for a weekend debut, if you just count 3 days, and I think what I read was the 3 day haul was like 96, basically 97 million,
Uh huh.
and previously it was 76, 70 something million. With Us, the 3 day haul was so. I mean, way to go, Howie, for making history on so many different fronts. And I'm not going to spoil the movie for you, but I will just say these couple of things. You're really gonna enjoy yourself. I think anybody who hasn't seen it, you'll enjoy it. I need to see it again because I spent so much time. Um, I spent so much time thinking about the movie and comparing it in my mind to what I saw the cartoon. Like I would sit there and watch. Oh, well, they changed the sequence of that. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that was just as good as when so and so did it. Oh, that was better. I don't know how I feel about that moment. Oh, that's interesting. Like, I mean, I'm in my head like this the whole time, but yet I'm also enjoying it. Like, I'm enjoying it, but I am in my head quite a bit. So I need to go watch it again, where I am totally out of my head and I'm just enjoying the show. You know.
So pop an edible. No, I'm kidding.
You know what? Don't do. I had our mutual friend Sean. He talked to me. He saw it twice already. He saw it in 3D. Then he saw it, which he highly recommends. I didn't see it in 3D, and it was just fine with me. Um, but he also saw it in those that action oriented thing. Where you're
Mm-hmm.
like in the seats that boom around and air is blowing in your face and stuff. And he said he highly recommend don't do that because there's way too much action and swimming and stuff where you're just almost in constant movement during the show. And
Mm.
he loves roller coasters. So if he's complaining about it, then I know it's too much. It's too much as far as having to sit in that movement thing.
I will say, I saw the most beautiful picture on social media. It was Hallie watching the movie while she was resting her head on her grandfather's chest, while he's
Oh,
watching while he's getting to watch this movie of his granddaughter starring in this Disney production.
right.
It's
That's
just I
so beautiful. I saw that party that I think that you're talking about that they were at, and one of the aunts or somebody was talking about how essentially, like just the grandfather's father was picking cotton, at some point, and just another generation, those people, were enslaved. So they were just saying like how the journey, she is her ancestors' prayers
oh,
come to life,
absolutely.
you know.
You know, it's kind of like the same thing. It's kind of like the same thing with when Michelle Obama made the speech and said, I get to stay in the White House now, which was built by slaves. It's
Yes,
just very
yes.
touchy.
hmm So congratulations to Hallie. I mean, what's that man's name who played the King Triton? It's not Gerard Depardieu. That's somebody else. It's so how can I think of that man's name? But he's very talented and handsome. There's a couple of cameos are in there. The original
Hmm.
Ariel makes a cameo in there. I missed it. I didn't know it was her until somebody told me. And there's at least one new song and another song that's kind of been zhuzhed just a little bit. And I think it all works. It all works for a modern audience and the younger kids. So I look forward to hearing your review once you see it, Soulful.
Definitely, I'm a fan from the get go, so I'll
Yeah.
be going with great expectations.
Mm. And although we're almost 10 minutes into the episode, this is the Soulful Cream Podcast, and I am Cream Diggler.
And I am Soulful Mexican.
And thank you for listening and joining us on this journey. We were just so excited. We just hopped right into this stuff.
That's what
So,
happens. We see each other, and all of a sudden,
right?
we just get carried away.
Hey, it's natural over here. It's all natural. So speaking of natural, the universe has called Tina Turner home. She had intestinal cancer for quite some time, and uh, she's passed away. And I think I would like us to maybe talk about our favorite Tina Turner moments or moment, and then maybe a favorite Tina Turner song in celebration of Tina. I think one of my favorite moments of Tina Turner was her HBO special that she did, kind of the documentary that was kind of from her perspective that she was in control of. So it was really nice to see that and get to hear her voice and not just someone else's take on it. Get to see how she wanted to be represented. Lot of great quotes. Of course, we all know her life, but some things we didn't quite know. From her, um, like her feelings about not doing the color purple because she was offered the role of Suge Avery and she declined it because she was like, I've already lived that. Although I don't recall Suge Avery like going through like physical abuse, but I guess she was just talking about being with good for nothing man.
Well, yeah. I mean, see, if you watch the movie and you see what Celie and Nettie are going through with Mister, I think
She still
anybody
want to be
who's had that
attached to
level of
that.
trauma would be a little overwhelming for them.
Hmm. So that's my favorite thing. Her documentary. What's your kind of favorite, or one? Maybe you may have many, but what was one of your favorite Tina Turner moments?
So Tina Turner, you know, when it comes to when it comes to my exposure to music, and especially outside of my culture,
Hmm.
Tina Turner is one of the early ones. I remember in the 80s, growing up in the 80s, learning how to speak English
Hmm.
and watching TV. And at the time, I remember seeing these performances where I guess it's the equivalent of Tiny Desk performances today by NPR. But
Hmm.
it would be like a small dark room with a couple of little lights uh blasting down on a tiny platform. And every time I'd see Tina Turner on that little platform singing, didn't really see an audience or anything. It was
Hmm.
just, if it's basically if the 80s equivalent of going on TikTok and making a video of yourself singing. But it
Hmm.
was always Tina Turner, and I was just always so fascinated by her. She just had this, that throaty singing voice of hers, that heavy rock image to her. She was just so compelling. And
Hmm.
even if I didn't fully understand what she was singing at the time, just because my English hadn't developed all that,
Hmm.
that's one of the earliest memories I have about exposure to music in English.
Wow. I think my favorite Tina song is "We Don't Need Another Hero." I think that's probably my favorite one because it just gives me all the things I need. The big chorus of the kids singing, and it's almost a power ballad, but it's also one of her kind of slow groove kind of things before it gets
Hmm.
into the power ballad moments. I
Definitely that big
Yeah,
80s rock song.
right, yeah, yeah. I love that ish, love it. What about you? What's one of your favorite Tina Turner songs?
Ah, I was very impressed with GoldenEye. And I was
Mm,
very impressed with GoldenEye. I'm glad that she got to be part of that tradition because, there's like over 50, 30 or 50 007 movies out there.
right,
And I feel like anytime you as an artist get to make the big song for a 007 movie, you're,
right.
you're just part of something spectacular. Kind of like being
Totally.
the halftime show performer at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, 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 completely. I mean, I imagine there are a lot of artists who have fell by the wayside who wanted to get that opportunity, who probably the producer or whoever was, who makes the decision was like, nah, we're not going to go with this version.
Hmm.
I imagine there's actually a documentary about the Bond songs. Have you seen
Hmm.
that documentary?
I have not.
I watched it. I don't know. I can't remember if I watched it a while ago. I don't know if I watched it from beginning to end, but I remember learning a lot of different little cool facts about it, and and things like that. Actually, that's
You
where I
know,
kind of got a lot of respect for Billie Eilish as a writer from watching that.
oh yeah, she had a great one this last one.
Yeah.
Shirley Bassey definitely got a chance to shine
Yes. Yes. Shirley
from the
Bassey. Yeah.
007 movies. Yes.
Hmm. When I just said totally, it reminded me. Today I was talking with a student, and that young lady said, like, I swear, she said it like, like I'm trying to, like, I mean, very smart person. Like, it's, this is the thing we're working on. And like, I was like, like if we can get this, like it would be great. Like, and I'm just every time she said it, it was starting to like grate me. I was like, okay, I need to talk to this person and let them know they're overusing the word like, and it's something they need to probably work on consciously as a future professional. And
Well,
I didn't, but there were three of us in the room, like four of us in the room, so I
uh-huh.
didn't want to interject it and embarrass her in front of her
Yeah, I could see that.
peers. So I got to find a moment and say, hey, come here, I want to talk to you about something. I want to talk to you about something. Let me whisper something to you.
Well, when you hear like a lot, I guess you kind of think of that stereotypical California girl kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
everybody has their little quirks when they're put on the spot to speak. You know,
Mm-hmm.
President Obama, if you ever watch his speeches, he's always like he always had an and then he'd go
Yeah,
into speak like
yeah.
even myself watching myself in some of these videos, I find that I say a lot right before I speak. And now that I've said it, y'all are gonna notice it.
But I mean, I agree. We all have some things,
A
uh,
filler.
some fillers, yes. But hers, it was just too much. It was
Hmm.
too much. It was too much. And I'm like, see, and I'm just like, and I'm like, sis, you got to be just aware of it. Just be aware of it. Doesn't mean you got
Hmm.
to cut it all out. But if you become a little more aware of it, maybe you won't use quite so
Mm.
many. And y'all can tell me that I'm wrong on the internet, but if you want to, but I
For
don't think
you,
I
for you Toastmasters and professional public speakers out there.
am. So we were talking about this before we got on the air. Target has been doing for over a decade, or at least a decade, celebrations during Pride Month. They release different materials, clothes that celebrate Pride. But this year, I'm going to call them conservative bigots have been empowered to tear down displays, throw stuff to the floor, yell at employees, be very aggressive with employees to the point. I don't even call that a boycott. I call that just a I don't know what is that
Illegal.
illegal, right?
A,
I
a
call
crime.
call it a crime. Yes, and so have you been hearing about this? Of course
I
you've heard
heard.
about
I
it,
hadn't. I definitely heard. I heard that the Karens united and decided to, decided to act up a little bit. But I guess you can get away with that.
right?
But it's definitely unfortunate. Target's been definitely pushing Pride for quite some time, even more than other businesses, and even a lot longer than other businesses. I feel more and more businesses have kind of jumped on the Pride bandwagon. Now, there's a lot of mixed feelings behind that too. Some, are you really, really supporting Pride, or are you just trying to, profit off of the theme as like it's a theme? So
Mm-hmm.
at the end, at the end of the day, you kind of have to look at what they're doing for the community when they're pushing a Pride like that. Now, I will say Target historically has had a history of giving back to the community.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't taken the time to see where that lies when it comes to the gay community.
Yeah.
If they're taking money for that they make during the Pride month, and if they're donating to the gay homeless, HIV organizations and stuff like that, then absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just, oh, we're gonna slap a rainbow on these items and hopefully increase our sales for the month of June, well,
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, their reason why for doing it, I'm less interested in. Like, whether even if they don't donate any funds during the month, representation matters, right? Just having it in the store, some little gay kid saying that. I think this recent thing, there was some trans stuff on a couple of the shirts or something that people were freaking
mm-hmm,
out about. Like supporting trans, or even this one artist had some tongue in cheek stuff about, we're all trans or something. I don't know what the exact thing was, but that was some of it was a little risque, but it's like there are risque things everywhere. You're gonna go by and tell people that we gotta hide the condoms and hide the KY jelly again, like that sits out in the aisles. Um, it, the this episode is not the political episode, but uh,
It never
it
is.
never is. but I mean, man, it's like the Republican Party just stay on being against everything and ain't for shit. It's like what they're for is doing whatever they can to keep marginalized people marginalized. It's sad. I mean, there's an article if y'all want to go check it out for yourselves. There's an article on MSNBC.com. It's an opinion piece about everything. It says conservatives are making Pride merch toxic, uh, but their real goal is much worse. Is the top title of the article? Check it out for yourself. It's just talking about how kind of what they're doing is working on a level. They're talking about how they tried to even make at one point making me Muslim this kind of anti-American thing, and they wanted Urban Outfitters to stop selling those. Are they called jihads or the things that they wrap it around their hair and stuff?
Hmm.
I forget what they're called, but they wanted them to stop selling those because that was offensive. It's a hot mess. I mean, I saw a clip someone posted. Not Jordan, Leslie Jones, R.I.P. Leslie Jordan. Leslie Jones posted on her Instagram this senator in the House. I don't know where that was like the main Senate floor or if it was like a certain state's Senate floor. But because I didn't research it, but I just kind of watched the video, and the guy was saying, "So you want to ban the works of the speeches of Martin Luther King? Yes. You want to ban the speeches of W. E. Du Bois? Yes." So it was just like all these it doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's not just stuff that's offensive. They want to really wipe away the proof of the civil rights movement, the fact that we had to fight for justice. I think it's like, okay, if we erase the fact that people ever had to fight for equality, we could just say we're all equal and we'll just keep doing stuff to make us in 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 unequal. What's the right word I'm looking for? Less than equal. Let's go there.
We'll go with that.
We'll go with that. Um, it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. And
Yeah,
yes, go
I
ahead,
mean, you
Sophie.
really got to know your history.
Yeah,
I grew up in Texas, and growing up in Texas and learning Texas history, of course, the biggest thing you always hear about is the Alamo, the Alamo, the
right.
Alamo.
Remember the Alamo.
And hearing about it when in that age versus hearing about it now, you realize, you know, what really happened then.
The whitewashing
At the
is
time,
real.
yeah, I was like, okay,
Yes,
so this was Mexico. Y'all decided you wanted it, so you slaughtered the Mexicans and the Native Americans that already lived here, and then you tell about it like it's the most triumphant tale on the face of this
right.
earth.
Oh, that's and that's what whitewashing history does. Um, there's some people who really kind of in the conservative party wants to move towards kind of like I say resegregation.
Hmm.
Um, and on some levels, I'm not for that. For the record, I think there is strength in diversity, but also I want to say though, if they did push it back to segregation on some level, um, we would all find a way. Us brown folks would find a way, and we would have our
Always do.
amazing cities and with our amazing food and our amazing educations because we're not going to be hiding our histories from our little brown and black babies. So it's like what you're trying to make for our downfall will ultimately be our rise up, and we will continue to fight. It's frustrating. I think some people are worried that a lot of when you poll people now, a lot of people are kind of like Biden's polling kind of low, and But I think in the end, when it's time to vote between Biden and the alternative, people will show up to keep the country from going back into the mess that it was during the reign of Donald Trump. I think,
I'm glad that they've been showing up.
yeah,
Even
exactly.
for the midterms, they've been showing up
Yeah,
for the midterms. I'm so
hmm
excited about that.
yeah,
But we just got to stay on top of it. We are, we're in the eve of an election season. We, if you're asking yourself what I can do now, you can make sure folks are registered.
yeah.
There's a lot of people that aren't going to be speaking about it, and you could start making sure that they're registered to vote now rather than 3 days before election day, and it's too late to register. Some of my
Amen.
friends in Houston and I used to do registration drives here for that reason.
Mm. We need to go. We could do a podcast uh, as we host a registration drive.
Hmm.
That'd be interesting. How, or maybe some or maybe we're just at a registration drive.
I mean, even if you don't, even if it's not a drive, so to speak, I mean, it doesn't take anything to reach out to your family and friends.
Yeah,
The friends
that's
that you
true.
talk to every day, those little group chats that you have on Messenger and such like that, just send a random message amongst them. Be like, hey, are y'all registered to vote?
All right, here's a link.
Call them out by the name. Don't let them be quiet on you. Yeah, here's the link. Click on it. It's really easy. Just fill out your information. They'll send you a card in the mail and you're ready to
Hmm.
vote.
Yep. Amen. Amen. Well, on to some happier news. Well, depending on who you talk to.
Mm.
Blue Ivy, this week, blew up the internet for dancing in her mama's show on two different times. The first time she was in this silver outfit, and the second time she was in a red outfit. Have you seen both of those videos, the red and
I
the silver?
I
Or did you?
did. I did. I guess in my head, Blue Ivy's still like 18 months old.
Right. I know she's so tall, 11 and so tall.
Uh-huh.
Um, she's gonna be, yeah, she's gonna be like a model probably. She's so tall. Uh, okay, so in the silver outfit, the first video that was posted, there was mixed reaction on the internet. Mixed reaction. There was some reaction. People were saying that, oh my gosh, of course, look at her. It's nothing to her. It's so easy. She's balling up there. She's the badass. Wow, she's just 11. Man, she is awesome. She is killing the choreo. Okay. Then there were some people who said, boring, stiff as a board. Uh, what is she doing? Like, why she got her out there looking so stiff and boring?
Can't please everybody.
You can't please everybody. You cannot. It's impossible.
Rihanna did a whole halftime show pregnant. Beyonce did a whole performance with an injured foot, and they still complain.
And I will continue to complain about Rihanna's halftime show. If you want to shade me, I will continue to complain about it because she didn't dance. But anyway, going back to Blue Ivy, uh, did she, okay. So, what did you think about her silver dance, the silver outfit that she
I thought it was great. I love the look. I love the
danced?
energy. I mean,
Hmm.
she's a child, so you can only expect
Hmm.
so much. You're just not gonna like
Hmm.
a dancing prodigy just because she's
Hmm.
Beyonce's daughter.
Well, Janet Jackson did have a tour where she took some two little girls who were dancers on tour with her. Of course, these
Yeah,
professional dancing girls and stuff. I feel like this. I feel like this is how I feel. I don't feel she was set up for success. Okay, I feel like there should have been like a little intro to like, oh, here's my baby, you know, whatever. Like make it clear. Like it's like when Whitney had Bobby Christina come out to sing with her. She was like, come on, baby, come here, Bobby, Christina, whatever. So we know it's like a little featured moment,
yeah.
mother daughter thing. It's not a performance.
No, no,
She
no.
she came the way Blue was presented was like she's one of the dancers. She's at the apex of the triangle, you know.
Look,
And
unless Beyonce told us that Blue Ivy's been in the Debbie Allen School of Dance since the age of 4, she
but she's
hasn't
been
been.
in the Beyonce school of dance, and all those dancers she's been hanging around since all that time. I mean, I get what you're saying, I'm of the school that she was a little stiff. She was a little stiff, although she was cool. Though she was cool, she wasn't nervous. Like, or she didn't. It didn't look like she was nervous. It looked like she didn't give a fuck what we thought about her dance, and
And she shouldn't.
she didn't give a fuck. But I say this though. I say if you put it out there for the public consumption, you have to accept that people are going to have an opinion about it. You
Yeah.
know, just you gotta
But
accept that.
in the words of RuPaul, what other people think about me is none of my business.
It's not. It is not. But I think when people try to shame people for having an adverse reaction to the young child's performance, I don't think that's fair. Because if you don't want nobody to have, if you put somebody on a major stage, people have the right to have an opinion about what they
They
see.
can have an opinion, absolutely.
Yeah,
Now, if you're talking about constructive feedback,
yeah.
that's different.
And you know what? It was constructive feedback to say she was stiff. And she indeed was constructive that she needed to
This
loosen
is
up a
the
little
hill you're
bit.
gonna die on today, huh?
I was
Damn it!
saying
I
it
am
was
planting my flag on this hill.
but but to tell you, I believe that they read the comments because on the red performance, when she was in the red outfit, she was a lot looser.
Mm.
She was getting it. She was getting it on that performance. Matter of fact, one of my friends had messaged me the red performance, and he was like, "Oh, she's getting it on this one." I said, "You're right." I said, "Her mama been reading the comments. Somebody in that circle been reading the comments. Man, I've been mama. It might probably one of the dancers or somebody said, okay, we gotta get Blue stretched out. We gotta come on, Blue. You gotta bend over more. You gotta do some stuff. You gotta do a little bit more because the red performance to me was far superior to the silver performance.
Okay.
Yes. So hey, acknowledging growth is a good thing. I think if people can't just be blowing her head up because if Blue wants to be a performer, she got to be able to withstand the heat. Beyonce is Beyonce because she was able to withstand the heat. She went through a lot of heat to become the queen bee that she is today. You know, at,
Did
a,
she
at
though?
as a teenager, she did. Do you not remember when all that shit she went through when Destiny Child was going through the rotations of people um, getting fired and stuff, and everybody was
Yeah.
blaming Beyonce
Well,
for it. And,
I mean, okay, so that's one thing, the rumors. Now, as far as Beyonce being a performer, she's been raised for this all her life. She went to the Houston School of Performing Arts. I mean, daddy had a plan for her.
oh yeah, most definitely. I'm just talking about people's reaction to her because
Hmm.
people were really, a lot of people for a while were plotting her downfall, hating on her for whatever all the various reasons. She's pretty, it looked like that Matthew was favoring her to Kelly Rowland, which he was, and all that kind of stuff that she got a lot of slack for. That maybe someone else might have quit the business because they're saying like, why people blaming me for everything, you
Hmm.
know, instead of turning around and writing songs like Survivor, instead, So just I'm just saying, you put her out there, it
I'm
is
I'm
what it
he-
is.
I'm here for it. This is the most pro Beyonce you've ever been on
What
any
me?
episode. I'm not saying that you've been anti Beyonce, but like you're like borderline beehive right now, and I love it.
I love Beyonce, but she's a human like everyone else. She can get a critique now and then. Like for example, that Tina Turner tribute performance she did in that blue hula hoop dress.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because I'm not a hater. Somebody somebody wrote Beyonce delivers. This is like an article. Beyonce delivers a jaw dropping performance, a dedication to Tina Turner. And I had already seen the video by this point, and I was like, y'all stay lying for clicks. Y'all stay lying. Y'all stay lying. But I ain't got nothing to say. I ain't got nothing to say.
It's like when Beyonce got when they did the remix of what was that song? Savage by Megan Thee Stallion, and they added the
Uh,
Beyonce rap in there. And
Yeah.
just as quick as they released that remix, Beyonce is the greatest rapper of all time. Okay, child.
Okay, child. Stop it. Stop it. Yes. She can ride a beat. She can ride a beat without a doubt. But greatest rapper of all time? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. We have a really interesting main topic for you all today. A lot of times we stay on the bottoms. We do. Sometimes we stay on the bottoms.
Pun
But to
intended.
pun intended and not. It's a double entendre. Entendre. uh, so today we're going to talk about tops and tips to make you a better top. And we're going to see if we agree with these various topics that came from the Advocate.
So it's 17 tips on being a better top.
17 tips on being a better top
Well,
from
right
the.
off the bat, they don't just want the tip; they want the whole thing.
They want the whole thing.
I have a feeling I'm going to cut up on this entire article.
Are
17.
you?
You know me and my humor.
Well, I look forward to it. I look forward to it. So the first one here, let's get to it. Uh,
Oh
having
Lord,
a
I haven't
nat-
seen that diagram since health in high school.
I know, right? Have an anatomy lesson. I could use a refresher. I think on this. This what we're looking at for those of y'all listening is this. What is this? It's like the
It
internal.
it's the anatomy. It's the male reproductive organ
Thank
an-
you.
anatomy.
Yeah. So we see the urethra. They call it the ureter. Is that the urethra?
No, urethra is what goes through the penis. Ureter is that's coming from the kidneys to the
Oh, yeah, there it
urinary
is.
bladder.
There's the urethra. Okay. So yes, we see in the testes, the ejaculatory duct, the rectum, the anus, all this stuff. Okay. So so
They're
soulful.
missing the vas deferens. Let me stop.
The vas deferens.
Vas deferens.
What's that?
So it's a bunch of organs in there that's missing. But I mean,
Oh,
it's a basic Cowper's gland and things like that. I don't
okay.
know why. I have not seen this diagram in like 20 years. I don't know why all these little anatomy components are coming back to me.
Now, the big thing we always hear about the internal stuff is, of course, is the prostate. That's the big thing we always hear about.
Hmm.
And so tops need to be aware of the prostate. Would you like to educate the children about why a top should be aware of the prostate? Soulful, do you have experience in this area with navigating the prostate?
Wow, putting me on the spot. Like I'm the resident expert. No, I mean the prostate has some sensitivity to it.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of nerve endings around it. So
Hmm.
coming in contact with it by various means can,
Hmm.
cause additional types of stimulation for
Well,
those involved.
yeah. Well, I try to do, I try to be a generous giver when I can, and I do recall sometimes trying to stimulate the prostate digitally, right? Because that's supposed to give you a really great orgasm. Let's say if you're masturbating your partner and you use your fingers or something like that, that's supposed to help with that,
Now
right?
the question is, how do you know that your prostate is being stimulated as a
Great
bottom?
question. Great question. Yeah.
If you've ever bottomed and you have to
Mhm.
tell the top to slow down because you feel like you're about to pee on yourself.
That's probably the prostate being stimulated.
Hmm.
There you go. And the prostate usually it's like this little bump on the inside. Not a bump. It's like a rounded. Has a little bit of I'm imagining here. Like if they're on their back, it's the up part when they're on their back, right? Like towards the penis,
Hmm.
but up inside.
Yes.
But if that's hard to understand, then
It's kind of at the base. It's just before the urinary bladder, but it's
mhm,
also kind of hugging the one of the walls of the rectum.
mm. So get on that. We're not gonna spend too much time on all these. 17, we be here all day. So y'all go on and do your own research on how to do
How
that.
to stimulate the prostate.
Yes, I love that accent.
I'm gonna
Nice,
give you a British accent whenever you get to when you put me in the spot to be an expert.
lovely. So the next piece of advice for tops is to quit calling bottoms loose. Just because the bottom knows how to take it doesn't make them loose. Just because they have spent some time, they spent some time, whatever. They may have used toys to get it together. They may be experienced, but it could be toys. It could be just natural, their experience. But we got to quit judging bottoms who can just be like, oh, it just went in, whoop, without much resistance.
You know, and I go there. I go with the but I think about friends of mine that got into relationships and decided that they wanted to. This is early 20s kind of stuff, but
Mhm.
had friends in the early 20s that for most of their adult sex life they were tops, and then they get into a relationship and they want to experiment with the other side. And this happened with two different friends of mine in two different cases. They went to another friend who was more of a experienced bottom to ask for advice on, hey, I have a boyfriend now, I want to be more versatile, what do you suggest?
Mhm.
Then the experienced bottoms they went to were just that, experienced, and sometimes even of the power variety. So they gave them advice that didn't necessarily work for a new bottom.
Yeah.
Just creating all kind of resistance and stuff. And I was like, why would they tell you to do that? That's so painful. So I told those two different friends on those two different occasions, here's what I can't believe I'm doing this. Here's what you do.
Use your British accent.
Here's what you do. And if you're a new bottom, you could take this advice too.
Come on, British
So
accent. British accent. You give me
so
advice.
you know, I normally advise the bottom to lay on his belly and be the most comfortable position possible.
Yes, yes.
Then have the top gently lube up his phallus
Mm.
and insert as much as you can take. And just when you think you can't take no more, go
Take
maybe
it
about
again.
go maybe go maybe about an extra half an inch. Then have him take it out and reapply the lubricant.
Oh yes. Okay. Okay.
Reinsert
Uh
and let
huh.
him go a little bit further. If he can go all the way the second time, by all means. However, if you still cannot take the entire thing the second time, have him pull out and administer more lubricant and reattempt a third time. Once the top has penetrated you all the way,
I mean, you might not want him to penetrate you all the way, depending on
but
how long it is. Jesus.
well, if once you've managed to but the reason you want them to penetrate you all the way is just to let your body get used to it. So
Okay.
once he penetrates you all the way, just let him rest there. Tell him to give you 2 to 3 minutes. Allow your body to adjust.
Ah, I see. Just be
Once your
still. Be
body has
still.
an opportunity to adjust, then you can both experiment with each other to try to find a rhythm that works for both of you.
Okay. I think that sounds like great advice.
Yeah, it worked great for the two of them. After they tried the first friend's advice, they said they swore they'd never bottom again, but
Mm.
they tried my advice and they've been verse ever since.
Ever since. Okay. Hey. All right. So number 3 is alternate your speed. We know that a lot of times the young bucks, maybe even some of the older bucks, think that that they try to do that porn sex, and right? It's like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah,
And
it
kind of.
depends what you like.
Mhm.
I've been in social settings with other gay men where the bottoms are like, I want to be fucked within an inch of my life. I was like, oh my god, you want that Oz on HBO kind of stuff. And then there's others that are more passionate and they just really want you to take their time, pay attention to them, make it more of a romantic boyfriend experience.
Mhm.
So it really comes down to the preference. But at the same time, you have to acknowledge that we as humans don't know everything, including ourselves. We don't know everything that we like because we haven't experienced everything. So,
Yeah.
by alternating speeds, you might find something. You might find that you like something you didn't realize you liked before.
Well, and to me, alternating speed is just good for a lot of different reasons. It's good to help you as the top.
Bust out the British accent. What are the reasons?
Well, to me, alternating speeds is very good for a couple of reasons. Primarily, if the top can make sure they sustain their erection and avoid premature ejaculation. It also gives you the time to, as you said, maybe experiment with what other styles does your partner enjoy? Do they like it when you hit the walls mostly? When you just do the tip in and then do a deep stroke? You have more versatility if you alternate the strokes, if you will.
And the angles.
And the angles, most definitely, and the angles. I almost screwed up my little thing here. Okay, here we go. Number four. Oh, this is going to be a controversial one here. Let's see. Number four. Get over your fear of dirty butts. Get over your fear of dirty butts. And basically, the article is saying, the overemphasis on like, hey man, or you make sure you're clean before I come over there, is insulting on one level because, of course, the bottom knows they need to clean. Although,
Not all of them. Some of the younger ones,
yes,
and the late bloomers may not have had
yeah, I
uh,
like
gay parents or coaches to walk them through the process.
maybe there's just a better way of saying it, but just to say, hey, I prefer a clean workspace. When I come over to play, saying
Hmm.
something like that as opposed to saying, I hate dirty butts. Don't be dirty. And also, like, not judging someone if they paint you a little bit because despite your best efforts, sometimes there's some leftovers.
Some residue.
There's some
Well,
residue.
and the world of anal is not limited to just the gay community. I mean,
True that.
I've seen conversations among straight porn stars, even Katie Morgan, who was like the first to tell you like its primary function is excretory. It is what it is.
Right. Yes.
But what I have been finding though, I find that tops are actually a tad bit more forgiving these days. Sure, in the
Mm.
younger days, depending on the type of environment, there was a lot of shaming that came if you weren't fully ready. I mean, if you're going to a sex party and you're not ready, worst place for that to happen.
Worst place for
But
that to happen.
if you're if it's one on one, whether it's a hookup or if it's something more meaningful between the two of you, I think I've been finding that tops are more forgiving these days. If anything, it's
Mhm.
the bottoms that won't forgive themselves, and that could be due to you know old old trauma in the community that they just refuse to take any chances. I have to be Ozarka clean.
Fuji clean. Fujiwara clean.
But I don't think I see the shaming as much anymore. So
well,
for
well,
those
that's good.
for those tops that have finally grown up and embraced what the primary function is, good for you.
Yeah, and if you go, but you're on the apps. You don't know everybody. Once you have a bad, dirty butt situation, and when I say dirty butt, I mean somebody who didn't try, somebody who didn't give a damn, and they just said, come on up in come up on these cakes, and I ain't try. Like you just understand that most people aren't trying to do that, and so there's a better way to be polite and not make people feel overly subconscious about anal sex. So
It's one thing to have
yeah,
some residue; it's another to have a full movement.
totally. Which I've experienced all of that, all of that. Not as not as the full
No-
movement giver, as the full movement receiver. By
oh
the way,
goodness, poor thing.
for
Well,
it
well,
was
well, well,
traumatic.
just we'll expense your therapist bill.
It was traumatic. Um, if you use condoms, this is number five. Be patient and understanding when he needs a break. I mean, duh, tops. Like you're given friction with with rubber,
With latex.
text, and somebody's butt. Of course, they're going to need some breaks or like stop, put some more lube on it. That kind of thing. And I think there's also sometimes a stigma people may have when someone says they don't use condoms, and it may be because that very reason. It's not because they're just a dirty whore. It may just be
Say
because
say that again, but a little more judgmental.
I mean, some people don't use condoms, and it's not just because they're a dirty whore. I mean, it could be because of other reasons. How's that? Is that better?
It was good. It was
Yeah.
good. I need you to put a little bit of that Kojic conviction in it.
Oh,
Just
the
put
code.
dirty whore.
That kind of. Oh yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. Not because they're a dirty whore. Yes, yes. But yeah, be patient. Like just like you're gonna want as a top, especially as you get older, tops. Condoms don't always feel that great. You can't feel what you're doing on the inside, and sometimes
Yeah.
that makes you lead to not having a stronger erection. And you're gonna want somebody to be patient with you. So be patient with your moms when it comes to
Yeah,
condoms.
and and try to make informed choices if you're going to use condoms. Silicone-based lubes work a lot better than water-based ones. Water-based lubes tend to dry out a lot faster on condoms.
Yeah, definitely.
So go for that. Reach for that wet platinum. Spend the
Yeah.
extra money. It's worth it.
This
And
next
wet
one.
wet platinum if you want to cut us a check or send us some product.
Right. So the next number six is worry less about your size. I think a lot of guys at some point spend a lot of time thinking about the size of their dick and if it's going to be enough. And let's face it, if you're someone who is friends with bottoms, especially bottoms who are those girls you were talking about who fuck me to death, those girls usually like a huge dick. And if you're not a huge dick guy, it can be self-conscious. But
Or if the bottom has a bigger one than you do.
yeah, that can happen too. Yeah, I remember meeting this guy and I was like, your dick is so big, you are not fucking me with that. Bend over. Like it didn't make me feel bad. I just was like, nope, you're not touching me with that thing.
I
You
just
know.
I just imagine you say that whole sequence with the intro to I like Sir Big Salad like, oh my god, that dick is so big.
That's pretty much how it went down. That's pretty much how it went down. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but I've definitely had some great lovers who did not have big penises. And it didn't matter because of the passion, because of maybe the level of skills in other areas. Like there's just always other things that can make up for that. I think.
Well, if I'm being honest,
Hmm.
maybe a couple of years ago, I might have had two on rotation, and
Hmm.
one was average, and one was kind of large.
Hmm.
That was quite a rotation I had then too, because two tops, one verse, and three bottoms. Anyway,
Damn, you stayed empty.
but yeah, the two tops in rotation. One was kind of average build, and the other one was rather huge. And both
Hmm.
of them could take me into another dimension. So it really wasn't about the size.
Yeah, because you can have bad sex with somebody with a big dick easily if they don't know what they're doing with it. So, um, but my thing is this: everybody ain't for everybody. Every pot ain't for every top. So if you meet someone who doesn't enjoy the size of your penis, so what? Let it go. Let it get over it. I remember one time this guy when I was in my 20s, I met this guy in DC and went back to his place, and he said to me, "Yeah, it's about what I expected. You know, as far as the size, it's pretty much what I expected." And I'm very happy with what I have, but it's nothing that's I'm not breaking any records, but I'm
It's
happy
not a
with what I
it's not something that goes on the trophy mantle.
have. I think it's on my trophy mantle, but it's not going to be. No one's going to be bragging about, oh, girl,
Mhm.
I took that well. And so he said that to me. You know what I said to him? Okay. And I still had sex with him because I had came in with a mission. And I was, everybody's not for everybody. So it's okay if someone that tells you, hey,
Yeah,
I'm not into it.
I think what people have to do is separate the fact that, being called out for that is a rejection, or worse yet, an indicator that you're less than as
Yes,
a
yeah,
person.
yeah,
It's
definitely.
just a preference. It's just a preference.
Exactly, exactly. Our next one here, use your tongue. There's world of difference between a good rim job and a bad rim job. Some guys just dive in and start licking, and that can be hot. And but just remember that saliva can dry out the skin. So once you start spitting, you got to keep spitting. Um, I don't know. I am a firm believer in this. I know that some bottoms say you cannot stick it till you lick it, and I totally understand that. But not everyone is worthy of a lick. Not everyone
You're like,
is
refer
lick.
to number 4.
Refer to number four exactly. I would say, Tops, you know how to do that. You know how to do that test. We all know that test where you make it out and you run your fingers up the crack, and you find a way to get that get that sniff test
I
in
was
where you
wondering if you were going to give a
of
demonstration.
course, of course. You gotta get that sniff test.
Real subtle with it.
I mean, of course, but if you at a certain age, you know it's coming. So you know when it's happening. You just ignore it and just pretend you don't know that it's happening. But we all know that it's happening. We all know the moment it's happening. You know how you know when you really are into someone and you trust them is when you're not doing those tests anymore because they know what's happening and they wouldn't put you in a situation like where you're like, oh, no, not I'm not ready for that.
Uh huh.
You know that's trust. That's trust that has been built. So rim all the time. Do you think is rimming a primary thing that should happen
Uh,
during this session?
some people like the natural scent and stuff like that. For me, the fresher and cleaner you smell and everything, the better. The more excited I get.
Yeah,
That's just
yeah,
my preference. Not to
yeah.
knock those that like, a little man
That
scent,
a little day
but
smell.
for me, if you smell like you got a little spritz of some kind of a Pacific breeze or something, no matter how girly it might feel, uh, you know, the brighter and fresher, the happier I get,
Yeah,
and the
I'm
more you
I'm,
get rewarded.
I'm kind of along those lines, especially if I don't know you really well. You get a little bit more leeway if we're together. You get a
Hmm.
little bit more leeway. The next one, number 8, says, "Use your breath, blow on his hole. Remember, the breath has different temperatures." I mean, yeah, I totally agree with that one. You put get a little wet, and then you a cool, a little cool breeze.
It's all sensory. Get
It's
those
all
nerves.
right. Put a little heat on it. I haven't really tried the hot though.
If you really want to show out, put an Altoid in your mouth, preferably a winter
Oh
green.
yes, Altoids. Yes,
A
yes.
winter green. Start with that because they may not
Yeah.
be ready for the hot peppermint.
I think you need to let them know what you're doing because if you don't, they may go, what is going on? Why am I tingling like that? Like you need to let them know because
Of course.
I ruined the mood or something one time. I was getting a blowjob and they had put um, a mint or had brushed their teeth before they started sucking it, and I was like, why am I dick tingling? What's the matter? What's going on? This is not what's supposed to be happening. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I brushed my teeth before. Like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay,
Minty
understand.
fresh.
Minty fresh. Yeah, just make sure you warn people if you're gonna be going in with the minty fresh thing. Okay, now this one here is going to be very controversial. I'm gonna really want to hear what you have to say about this, Soulful. Uh, their number 9 is use your teeth. Mm.
Mm. Okay.
Use your teeth. Let's talk about using your
Well,
teeth.
usually when we think about teeth, we think about using it on the front. And nobody wants that. Well,
Right.
there are a few freaks out there that do, and more power to you.
Right. We're thinking about the
But
penis.
yes, no, no, no. I've been known to bite a butt cheek or two.
Mm.
So again, it's just it's all sensory, darling.
Right, like a little love bite. A little love bite. Getting bit
Yeah,
on the neck.
kind of
Yeah.
shock. Just kind of shock the process.
Yeah, like a little bite on the neck. I like to get bit on the neck sometimes. It's like lightly, not crazy. Just like just a little bit. Just a
You
little
and these faces. Do the bite face again.
Yeah, just a little bit, just a little bit.
Y'all
Yeah,
want
you're
to
right.
do that in public and see what happens? I'm gonna have
Sometimes.
you ride the bus, public transportation, and just randomly make those bite faces.
They're like, this man needs to be committed. That's what they're gonna say. But I think, like, I have heard people, like, I have a friend, and I don't know if he's going to be watching this episode or listening to this episode, but I'm going to talk about it. Let's come closer so I can tell you. So he was telling me about this time when this boy was eating his booty, and the boy was chewing on the hole a little bit, but the boy was kind of snackatoo, and girl, he scratched his booty hole. Yes, girl. And it left like a little piece of skin removed, like a little dot, like a little dot of skin removed. And bottoms are very particular about their anus. Like, at least my friends, like, the anus needs to be looking pristine at all times. And this man put my friend out of commission. This was not his boyfriend. This was like a dude he was messing with on occasion. He's like, this motherfucker has ruined me for another month or two. I cannot let a dude look down there, because they're gonna be thinking that
He's
something's
gonna
going
have to.
on.
Oh my God, he's gonna have to update all his private pics so
Right.
that people don't think he's catfishing them.
Right.
Oh,
Like,
the
this
struggle.
the struggle. These marks went on your booty when I saw this picture. You know. But so chewing, chew with caution, people. Chew with caution. I think that's something you should have a conversation with somebody about. In terms of, like, do you like to be bitten? Do you mind a little nibble here and there? Do you have what's our code word, our safe word for if it's too hard? Is it just
Ouch.
stop, ouch, bitch, ouch,
Ouch.
ouch, shit, ouch, you know?
Motherfucker, what you do?
This shit could just be a motherfucking ouch, bitch. Shit, stop.
Get the fuck
Hilarious.
off me.
Y'all might want to come up with more romantic things than what we talk about. We just fucking around with y'all. Number 10 is vary your thrust. Vary your thrust. Um, that kind of goes a little bit back to what we were talking about with speed, I guess, but I guess not in the sense that sometimes it's like, do you go all the way pelvic to butt, like, you get it like that, or is it
You
just a
know, you
little
know,
bit?
your shoulders and your arms really beefed up when you did that. That gym is Jimmy.
I was just trying to give a little demonstration,
Yeah.
or do you just go, just the
I
tip,
think I feel like burying your thrust is advice for the tops that are just there to kind of hit it and quit it.
Yeah,
It's just like if you're there on a mission to bust and that's it, well, it's just I guess it's kind of like a safety net that's being suggested to you so that you can, remember to check out of whatever zone you're in and remember that the bottom is supposed to get pleasure out of this too.
yes,
I
yes,
think
exactly.
when there's good sexual chemistry between the top and the bottom, I think varying the thrust is just going to be natural.
Yeah.
You're really going to want to take your time to explore the different angles and the different rates of of said stroke game, and just to kind of get you see what kind of different reactions you can get out of your partner. But
Yeah.
also, by varying, you keep yourself from coming too quickly.
Yeah. definitely,
And
most
if you
definitely,
really, really enjoy the time that you're spending with your partner, you're not going to be in a rush.
right.
I
And
mean, at
what'll
some point you might hit a point where you're just like both like, okay, I've achieved
right?
my level of ecstasy. You've achieved your level of ecstasy. Let's just go for it.
Let's get this over with. Yes, in the best sense. In the best
Hmm.
sense. Which kind of leads us to the next one, which is number 11. Pull out occasionally, which is important on a lot of levels. It's for what you just said in terms of lasting longer, but it also does give the person literally a chance to kind of, you can check to see if there's any blood down there. If you, especially if you have like a big penis, an extra large penis, you can get a chance to check that in. Because
You know, it's
sometimes,
funny. I read number 11, and I didn't initially think of it as a from a wellness check or wellness standpoint, but it makes. I mean, it's absolutely right, total sense,
yeah,
because you get caught up in the moment. You might not realize that, oh, I've been injured.
yeah, totally. Because some people be like, "Oh, it's good pain," but good pain is possible, but there shouldn't be blood. There definitely shouldn't be
Yeah.
blood showing.
Not to, yeah, but I mean, there is pleasure that comes with it too. You pull out, you do your wellness checks, and that reinsertion is usually going to do something.
Yeah, totally. Although if you're like me, you're scared if you pull out. You're like, especially if you're doing a good job. You're like, "Oh God, it's like starting all over again. Let me get this over with." No, I'm just kidding. Am I? Well, I have to think about it.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's get it over with and order Uber Eats.
yes, definitely. Number 12, get experimental with different positions. I mean, this is definitely to me, like a duh for when you were first with somebody. Where that gets into trouble when you're with somebody for a while. Uh, at least for me, because I love Old Faithfuls. Me and my secretary at work will be like, "You want Old Faithful?" We're talking about Chick-fil-A, and she'll be like, "Yep," because if we're gonna order, let's say if we ordered 5 times that week, probably 3 times was Chick-fil-A, unless we
Mm.
get tired of it. But but usually it's like Old Faithful,
Not the hate
Old
chicken.
Faithful. Well,
I'm not I'm not gonna lie. I do go to Chick-fil-A.
uh, yeah, I
I
reconciled that, yeah, a long time ago, that I can't win
you
them all.
you go to Chick-fil-A and you kiss your boyfriend in the line just to
Exactly,
start some
exactly.
shit.
Can I get some chicken for me and my gay boyfriend? Thanks so much. It's like, you know, what are you gonna do? But yeah, switching it up is good. I think it's nice for people to not necessarily always know what's coming, but I don't
Pun
know,
intended.
But I am a little boring. I could probably use this. My boyfriend
No,
probably could.
I mean, you
Yeah,
do what works for you because
yeah.
sometimes experimenting, sometimes you decide to try some position, it doesn't work out for you, and now you're soft, and it's like nobody
Yeah,
got anywhere.
right. That's just very true. So those of you who are able, you should experiment. How about that one? Get into some different positions. Now, this is maybe another.
New positions. Stroke it for me. Stroke it.
Okay, for me,
Yes, Aaliyah.
Merc the middle. Okay, all right. Use toys. This is what I say. I don't think you have to use them. I think you shouldn't be afraid of them though. I think that they should be an option uh,
Yeah.
in the relationship.
If it's something more long term, then definitely.
Yeah,
If this is like a one time hookup and you're breaking out the arsenal, then
yeah, no,
this is more fetish based. This is not
definitely,
really.
yeah.
This is not. It's not. Yeah.
And I guess the fetish, yeah, yeah, like you said, the fetish girls may break it out, but
you
uh,
know, uh, I, it's when I'm topping, it's not uncommon for me to break out a stroker on the bottom because a lot of times some bottoms are good not coming in the whole session. I
mhm,
don't necessarily like to leave them in that predicament. So,
right,
and everybody has their way of stroking themselves to
right,
completion. And I may not learn that in one session.
yeah,
So I'll
yeah,
break out the
true.
stroker, and the stroker's very good at figuring it out for me.
Look at you. There you go. I mean,
I like to leave a satisfied bottom.
I like to say, "Hey, you good?" I'm not going to force it. Like, if you want me to help, okay, fine. Um, but sometimes some tops ejaculate before the bottom is ready to be finished, and I think that's where toys can be helpful. Like
Yes.
if you're someone who's like, okay, I know I'm not gonna last a long time, but I'm willing to get down here with this toy and work you over. Then I think that's fair. That's all fair in love and war. What do you think?
Now, I don't know if this is going to be a tip in the if it's going to be a tip on the list, but I'll add it anyway just because we're talking about toys and we're talking about coming before your partner. If you come before your partner, leave your motherfucking phone down.
Oh my
Focus on your partner and help them get there too. You know,
Don't pick up your phone while they're over there trying to finish
yeah.
off.
Oh
Oh my
God,
god.
I had that happen one time. I let this one young guy top me, and he finished before I did, and I was gonna, he was gonna help me finish myself, and he had one hand on my nipple and the other hand, and his phone on his other hand, while he's just focusing, scrolling away, doing a half-ass job play with my nipple. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. We're done.
Oh my god. How horrible. What an
We're done.
asshole.
Never called him back. And then he was wondering why I cut him off. And he actually found a mutual friend of mine and was telling him, I really liked him, blah, 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 this and that. And I told my friend what he did. And he was just like,
Right?
and he was like, you know what?
Appalled.
I honestly don't blame you.
Yes, appalled, 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 appalled. Uh,
Oh, the things you get me to tell about myself on this podcast. My God.
hey, sharing is caring. The
It
children
is.
need to
You know
know.
what? If somebody learns from this, I'm good with it.
Exactly. We
Leave
are
your
putting,
mutherfucking phone down until you both
yes,
finish.
this is part of the gay archives library that some young gay can come back and watch watch us espouse our, uh, porch wisdom,
I'm
for
just saying,
them.
phones during a session will get you in trouble. Think about every OnlyFans video where the bottom picks up their phone while the content creator is topping them. Then they have to come back and edit the video and say, oh, well, he was enjoying it so much, he was telling his partner not to come home. Like,
Oh, yeah,
mm-hmm.
right.
Sure, whatever, whatever, child.
Whatever. Number 14, take a break inside. It's kind of a little bit like what you were talking about earlier, with this stuff with, sometimes stopping while you're inside is still enjoyable. The bottom may squeeze it a little bit, and
Oh, yes, that magical
yeah,
toxic grip.
yeah, but yet you're.
If they got that grip, they are toxic.
See, you're judging. You're
They are
judging.
toxic as fuck.
No, no. Maybe they just have good grip. I'm not gonna say it's a toxic grip. I'm not gonna talk toxic grip. Depends on the person, if it's toxic or
Baby,
not.
if they do that grip, it's a red flag.
Why is it a red flag? Why?
They
I
trying to
think you're
get
being.
they trying to get you caught up.
I think you're triggered. I think you're being triggered by that right
No.
now.
I can't I might be one of those types. So might
Might
might.
possibly. The next one is talk,
Oh wait,
and
wait, we weren't done with the other
are
one.
we not? Are we not? Oh,
We're
sorry,
not
I'm
done.
sorry. Go
No, I'm
back.
good. I'm just messing with you. No, no, no. Taking breaks and say obviously you want to regulate. You want to make sure that you don't come too quick,
Mhm.
especially if you're really enjoying your time with your partner. But I think that's that moment of, reaching that level of ecstasy. Your partner's reaching a certain level of arousal. You're about to get there, and you don't want to come too quick. And your partner is just like, "Wait, why'd you stop?" Just pacing myself. I'm enjoying it so much. I don't want to finish too quick.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. And then you get your rhythm going again. And five
Okay.
minutes later, you stop again. And it's like, why'd you stop now? I'm trying not to finish.
But
After about
see,
15, 20 minutes of that, about it's like, fuck it, just give it to me.
see, you gotta distract the bottom so the bottom not ask you all the fucking questions about why you stop. So you
Well,
stop, and then let's say if they're on their stomach, you're on their back. You kiss their neck. You do some kind of making out. You stroke their body in some way. If they're on their back, you suck their toes. You kiss their legs. Like you take the focus off of down there, the hole, and put it on something else. You stop and tweak the nipples, or you kiss the nipples. Like you gotta like divert the attention. But if you just stop and take a break, Yeah, what's the matter?
See
What's
this,
the
this,
matter?
and see this is why we came back to this. Somebody
Yeah.
needed to hear that.
Somebody did need to hear
So
that piece of information. There
yeah,
you
I
go.
mean, you're just adding more levels of stimulation. They're already being stimulated from the inside. Now you're doing extra distractions on the neck, on the back. So yes, absolutely,
Mm.
you're onto something there.
Yeah. So then number 15, talk. Listen, I know everybody don't talk. I know everybody has different levels of being able to talk during sex. And I had
I'm
that to
sorry,
my
I just read it, it wrote the fuck yeah, and I just pictured it like some little Nelly Twinkie voice. Oh fuck yeah.
yeah, right. Totally, and that's the problem because a lot of people will be thinking that like I'm sure we've all dated somebody who was quiet during sex and somebody who talked too much during sex. There is a happy medium, and not every moment has to be filled with dialogue. Sometimes the communication is just moaning. To me, that's part of talking. Just moan how you let
You
somebody
know,
know.
in my defense, no, and in defense of many others, because I do know a lot of, I have come across a lot of people that are quiet in the bedroom. We've often, and I think we kind of trace down where it comes from.
Mm,
Uh, Most of the people that are quiet in the bedroom grew up in households with limited space and large families.
mhm.
So of course, teenage years, you're discover, your body's awakening, going through things, you discover masturbating and all of that. But when you live in that type of proximity, you can't be loud. You have to
Right, right.
make that suspicious trip to the bathroom that takes an hour, and you have to rub one out and be extremely quiet so that your family doesn't hear you. So you kind of condition yourself to orgasm and come in,
Mhm.
you know being quiet. S-
I hear you. I mean, we have all most of us have grown up in a situation where, as a youth, you couldn't just freely come out loud. I remember one time coming from a jack off session in my room and coming out to get dinner, and my mom going, "Why are your eyes so red?" And I'm like,
did you
"I was
did you
asleep. I was asleep because I just woke up from sleep." But I don't know. I think that, like I said, you could moan. There has to be some affirmation. You can't just have sex quietly. I'm telling you, if you're having sex quiet, somebody's talking about you. Somebody's talking about you, and not in a good way. Somebody is talking about you, that you're a weirdo, that you are boring, they don't know if you like it, that you're hard to read. Like, uh, you gotta give them something, some grunts, some. It's like I read Cosmo years ago when I was a teenager. Okay, and this article in Cosmo said, telling women, how do I let my man know, that he's doing a good job so he'll keep doing it? And the article said, and I'll never forget it. I was 16. I read this. I never forgot it. It said you gotta moan when he hits the right spots. Let him know that he's doing something that you like. Reaffirm, pat him on the back vocally, whether that's vocally with like a "oh, that's it," or "keep doing that," or
some kind of positive reinforcement.
yeah, some positive reinforcement is needed. And if you want them to keep doing whatever it is they're doing to you, you have to reinforce that that's a good thing, or they're gonna quit doing it, or they'll quit doing you because they don't feel like they're doing a good job with you. That's what I think.
That you're impossible to please.
Or even if they know you're being pleased because you've come and you're coming, you're all like, "Mm," and that's it. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? So I encourage you. You don't have to get the whole pornographic book. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Give it to me. Yeah, get my
Fuck
hole. Blah
yeah,
blah
fuck
blah.
yeah.
Yeah. You have to get into all that, but I think you gotta give people something. You
Oh
gotta
yeah,
give them a little something. Because some people, you talk too much, they can be like, "You're faking. I don't want to be a part of this."
some
This
people
drama.
like it verbal.
Yeah, some people hate it. I remember this one guy I dated. He was like, "Oh, I hate when people just over exaggerate," because he didn't have like the biggest dick in the world, and he was
Yeah.
like, he was fucking this bottom, and the bottom was like, "Oh my god, you're killing me! Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh!" But he's like, he knew he was not killing him, But
Uh-huh.
he was a big guy though. He had maybe great thrusts. Maybe that's what he was killing it. I don't know. Uh, I don't know. But anyway, some people are real sensitive about that stuff, and I don't recommend trying to date somebody quiet unless they're real fine myself in the bed because then I guess it don't matter. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's number 16. Number 16 is use your fingers, but make sure your nails are found down if you do use your fingers. Uh,
I'm no good for this one.
or using glue. You got long fingernails?
No, it's not even that. Or I mean, unpopular opinion. I hate fingering.
Uh, you hate fingering or being fingered?
I hate being fingered.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of being fingered either. No, don't like it. But I know people who do like, ooh, play with my hole, da, 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 da. Me, not a fan. Yeah. Um, so find out from your partner if they like that before you start doing it.
But definitely trim those
And
nails.
definitely trim those nails, or at least like I remember I would have like my designated fingering nails,
Uh-huh.
fingering fingers. So I make sure those always trimmed down because those were the ones that always went spelunking.
Oh.
The other ones didn't
Whew.
really
Yeah,
didn't
you
go.
definitely want to hurt nobody. Jamie Foxx did a comedy sequence about that. It's like somebody with long nails trying to figure. He's like, "Ah, I've been severed. I've been severed."
Yeah, oh, I'm quick to be a bitch about that. Don't, them long ass nails. No, no, I'm real quick about a bitch about
Yeah, I'm not a fan. If
that.
yeah, if it happens, it happens. But
Yeah,
if I'm very quick to be like, okay, just stop.
yeah.
Next,
Ah.
next on the itinerary. Yeah, yeah, just not a fan.
This last one, number 17, is pretty interesting. Uh, the pressure is not on, but don't top if you don't top. Don't pretend that you're, hey, I'm verse when you're really a bottom. Like, if you're, or if even if you maybe don't want a bottom, but because not everybody's into intercourse. If you're not into intercourse, maybe you just want to,
Aside.
yeah, maybe you just want to jack off. Maybe you just want to do oral. Like, be honest, or what is it, fraudage? Like, just be honest about whatever it is you like to do, and don't pretend to be a something that you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, don't pretend to be something that you're not. Although I know a lot of bottoms feel like they have to pretend because they can't. There's a lot of guys they want that they can't get unless they pretend to be versatile. But what happens is you get the guy you want in bed, and then he turns around and bends over, and then your dick gets off, and and then he knows, and then like now you got to get out of there, and now he kicks you out, or your dick doesn't get soft, and you were sitting there fucking him, and the whole time you're like, oh my god, I hate this. Oh my god, I hate this. Oh, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this. Because I've had friends with on both of those things who
Mm-hmm.
the verse friend who's I had this friend whose verse is a really beefy guy. He has a hard time finding other verse guys, and he said he gets lied to a lot, and and when he goes to have them do him, their dicks may get soft, and he said it's really dehumanizing because he feels like maybe uh, he's not attractive, like that makes him feel unattractive.
Yeah.
When that's not the case, but but in that moment he feels unattractive. It's just because this bottom has tricked him. This bottom has tricked him.
Oh,
But
the deception.
the deception of it all. Bottom stop tricking people. So yeah, so that definitely does
Yeah,
happen
just
out
be
there.
honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I, and maybe it's just the blissful privilege of being versatile,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't,
He's a
you
true
know,
verse. He's not just verse on paper. Because I have friends who like that too, who verse on paper.
no, no, no. I just, I've become so accustomed to people identifying as a top and identifying as a bottom, like it's some kind of domestic role.
Yes, yes,
And
yeah, yeah.
I don't see it like that. I just see it like it's a choice and a position that you decided to, you know, get involved with in the heat of the moment. You know,
Now,
one
do
minute I might feel like bottoming, minute might feel like topping. It just depends on who I'm with and the type of vibe we have.
well, do you have? I have a friend who he claims he's a versatile. Okay, girl, and he keeps claiming and saying, I use my dick. Yeah, girl. When the last time, girl? I don't tell you everything. Okay, bitch. All right, fine. Um, so my question to you, because this is something that he said he likes to go into a situation knowing what the roles are going to be. Like the whole like, I'm going on a date with you tonight, and we coming back to your place, and I don't know if I'm topping or bottoming tonight. Like he hates that. He wants to kind of figure it out, which is why he doesn't like to date verse people because he doesn't want the I don't know, will she, won't she kind of
Hmm.
feeling of it. He likes to, even though he claims he's verse, he likes to date people who are not verse so that he knows what he's getting.
He wants a very succinct.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. No, I'm actually the opposite, and I can honestly say that's something that's stuck with me for the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I go into a situation knowing that I'm versatile and I prepare to do either one, you
Mm-hmm.
know, should the opportunity arise.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly don't even discuss roles with people half the time,
Mm-hmm.
most of the time. So when we get
So
to
that
that
means most
point
of
and
the time
it
you
comes
end up
up,
topping.
it's really 50-50.
Is it
I
really 50-50?
Uh-huh,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
really 50-50. Um I just, you know, if I kind of had this rule and it kind of still stands. Like I'll kind of give a passive role for the first 5 or 10 minutes to see if you're gonna take the reins and show me where
Mm-hmm.
you want this to go. But if you don't, then after 10 minutes, I'm taking over and I'm gonna take it the direction I want to go.
Gotcha. All right, you heard it here,
Yeah,
folks.
yeah. I mean, there's it just really depends on the vibe. I've been in situations with other versatile guys, and after just being in the, being in the moment with them, I'm like, I know we're both versatile, but I really just want to be a top with you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you know what, I know we're both versatile, but I'm good with just exclusively being a bottom with you.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then I'll run into the one where it's like, oh yeah, we're flip flopping.
Mm-hmm.
There I go telling my business again.
There you go. You just help it educate the children. Let them know that they're
Yeah.
not
Plus,
alone.
somebody might be trying to shoot their shot.
Yeah, they need to know what they got. Exactly. What they dealing with over there. I totally agree. Well, hey, there y'all had it. The 17 tips for tops. Don't say we never gave you nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is strictly about making a better work environment for the bottoms.
exactly. Exactly. That's what we're trying to do. We're
Or
trying to train up all the children in the way they should go. Okay, that's what we're trying to do around here. So, Soulful, you have the weekend coming up. This is the first weekend of June.
yes, going into Pride Month.
What plans do you have that you're excited about this weekend?
Ah, I, f- I feel so one of my friends is off this weekend. He never has the weekends off. Nico Bear, he's been on the
Mm-hmm.
podcast with us a few times, so might I might have the urge to do a little weekend road trip, day trip somewhere, one of these neighboring towns, and bring in the summer like that. So we'll see.
Nice.
He'll be my ride or die this weekend. So
Sounds like a plan. I'm
coming
gonna.
to a city near you.
All right, we got to have Nico Bear on the show again.
I'm sure he'd love to.
It's been a while. Got to catch up with him and all his on knowings.
Hmm.
Um, myself, I'll be going to Austin this weekend. It's me and my partner's 1 year anniversary.
Yay!
It's where we met in
That's right. You guys
Austin.
did meet in Austin.
Yeah, and
You made the drive just to meet.
I made a drive just to meet like a true hoe. You gotta do what you gotta do. No, I'm kidding. Not like a whore. Like a woman in love, searching for love. We'll do anything for love. Um, but we're also maybe even more important than the anniversary is Janet Jackson's in town.
Dun, 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 dun.
And so we're going to be seeing Janet Jackson, of course. I'm excited about that.
I've been telling him,
Uh,
y'all, he needs to get those backstage passes so he could take a picture with Demita Joe.
I would love nothing more. I would blow it up to the size of a poster. However, that's just a little too rich for my blood. It's a little too rich for my blood. I love you,
We we
sis.
we gonna make a GoFundMe if y'all
Yeah.
wanna put it
Okay.
put it in the comments if
Y'all do
y'all
a
want.
GoFundMe. I promise you, I will use the money to go to a Janet Jackson meet and greet. I sure will. I sure will. But yeah, so I'm excited about that. Gonna take a few days off work and try not to work. Um, it's always a little hard for me to not respond to emails and stuff, but I'm gonna try. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to
I'm gonna
that.
pull the Sims card out your phone.
Yeah, so I know I need it. I need it for my directions and stuff. I don't know where the hell I'm going in Austin. So,
I
uh,
can't help you. It'd be different if you were driving to Houston, but you
right.
got
Well, this has been a great episode. It was good to talk to
got
you,
got me
soulful.
telling all my business.
I know, right? Hey, like I said, it's for the good of the children.
It is.
Yes.
I'm actually not shy about talking about this stuff. I think a lot of people look at me like somebody who's really innocent, so they wouldn't
Hmm.
expect it. At the same time, I'm for the most part, I'm an open book. If you ask the right questions, I don't
Hmm.
volunteer it, but you ask, I'll tell you.
See? Well,
and
we're
you
going to
and
do
we
that.
know that Cream is not shy about asking the probing questions.
Not at all. I love to probe. And so I will always probe. Always.
Didn't we promise you puns and double entendres?
We did. We sure did. All right. Well, this has been the Soulful Cream Podcast. I am Cream Diggler.
And I am Soulful Mexican.
Thank y'all for listening. Bye.
Bye.